Hey guys, it's Ewan with the Air Zoo. Let's check in with Air Zoo Restoration Manager Greg for an update on our SBD-1 restoration.
The SBD-1 restoration is well along. We should have it done by fall. Both wing panels have been repaired, reskinned. All the internal repairs have been accomplished. And we're getting ready to put an undercoat of dove gray paint on the wings first. And that creates a nice bright base for the metallic silver that'll go over the gray. That'll be the finish coat. The top of the wings get like an orange-yellow color for the pre-war paint scheme. And that'll help brighten up the yellow by having the gray underneath. If we were to prime or paint right over the green primer, it would have a green hue to the yellow. So that's why we essentially we paint the airplane twice. Right now we've got all the instruments for the instrument panels have been all restored. The instrument panels have been restored. The gunner's seat, the turret has been restored. We have two 50 caliber fixed machine guns that'll go in the nose of the aircraft. Those just arrived yesterday. And a single 30 caliber flex gun in the back seat. Everything is going well with the restoration. Right now it's about paint, a lot of paint work. And the engine's pretty much done. The propeller is over there. Hasn't been restored yet, but we're getting ready to do that now. So
Everything's on track?
It is.
Over by the wings, I check in with Kevin, who's about to do a spot of welding. Kevin, what are you doing?
We have an issue with this end plate of this wing. This is just basically a light fixture to hold the marking light. What do they call it for external lights for the wings? I can't remember.
Collision lights.
Well, I guess. But we've got an issue here where we've got quite a bit of metal missing. And I patched this up here as well as I could, welding in some additional metal. And we're going to try to do the same thing here because it's just not very strong. So that's what we're working on.
Kevin fills the hole with a little bit of metal before patching it up.
Fire!
As he was welding, I was distracted by two volunteers walking by with an aileron borrowed from our SBD-3 in the other building. I confronted the two thieves. I have just seen you two gentlemen come into this building with a piece of aircraft. Where did you get that bit of airplane from?
The SBD-3 in the other building.
And that's how we operate here. We just steal from our other artifacts.
Sometimes we scavenge, yeah.
So in this case, we're using that aileron as a template to build the ailerons for the SBD-1 that we're restoring here.
Which are right behind you.
This is actually the second time that we've had it off the plane. We thought we were done, but not quite. So one more really complex component to make on that aileron for the SBD-1. So we brought it over here to use as a template again. We've taken this aileron off before. We also took the trim tab off the left aileron. And we still have that here. Shh, don't tell anyone. We will put it back. And I know some other components have come off of that plane and gone back on it as well. So once in a while, when we have something that's complex to be made or made out of sheet metal, we'll use that as a template. Obviously, we don't take from that plane and put onto this plane, just to use it as a template.
With many of the original SBD drawings lost to time, our volunteers sometimes have to borrow parts from the other aircraft to recreate them, especially for complex parts like the ailerons, which they're completely rebuilding from scratch.
What I'm working on is we need to line up and drill holes through these leading nose caps on the aileron so that we can fish a threaded rod all the way through, and then we can lock these into the proper position, proper angle, so that when we put the leading aluminum skin on it, we can drill into these nose caps and have everything all aligned as it should be.
While Steve works on the leading edges, Bill and Aurora install a curved section on the trailing edge. it won't be long until both ailerons are ready to be riveted, skinned, and installed. Over at the SBD's fuselage, Bill and Grace have begun installation of the various components found in the gunner section.
We're actually just putting in a bracket for the gunner's stick, which is an emergency stick if he has to take control of the aircraft because the pilot is wounded or disabled. He can take this stick out of this socket here, and it fits into a socket right in the floor, and it allows him to fly the airplane. Very basic, rudimentary system, but he also has his own set of rudder pedals, so he literally does have full control of the aircraft. He has a throttle quadrant that fits on here, and he has just 3 flight instruments, and I believe it's probably airspeed, altitude, and maybe a compass, I believe so really, it's definitely for an emergency. But there were guys that were able to get the aircraft back on the ground with a wounded pilot, and yeah, pretty ingenious little system because he sits inside of this huge gun tub, and he doesn't have a lot of visibility. He can't reach very far in any direction, but it did allow him to land the airplane in an emergency. And you have it flat. We'll get the other nut.
You might have noticed that Grace is a little younger than the majority of our volunteers. I asked her why she helps out in the Restoration Centre.
I love history and I love working with everyone here. Everyone's super helpful. And I don't know a lot about mechanic stuff or that sort of thing, but everyone's really helpful and it's awesome to learn.
Do this without dropping everything.
After a little adjustment, this small bracket was successfully installed, holding the emergency flight control stick securely in the gunner section of the airplane.
Okay.
Happy with that?
Yes, I am. All right, we had no print to go by, but we made the last one, so pretty simple piece.
Bill and Grace then installed some other components, including the relief tube, vital for long duration missions. In the cockpit, Fred was busy test fitting a small instrument panel that he had restored. Every day, more and more components are being installed into the fuselage, an indication that this project is creeping nearer to completion. Sitting on a nearby table, I spotted the latest edition of Southwest Michigan's Spark, and a very familiar face on the cover. Is that Mr. June I see?
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Not too bad.
What have you been working on?
Organizing right now. I went over to the SBD-1, looked at some oil lines over there. We're really lucky to have her still here because we can reference things on this plane, this engine, all that we need to apply to this plane. So and right now I'm just looking for some parts that I ordered and I don't see them. We are far from being done with the engine.
Yeah.
Everybody says, how long before this goes on? And they said, I don't know, as long as as long as we have to keep getting parts for it. So we have fuel lines to hook up yet. We have oil lines to hook up. We have an oil tank down there. That'll be going into here. So we got to put that in. And pretty much when we get done with that, then I think she's ready to go. So we're getting there.
Oh yeah, oh I can tell.
Yeah,
I can tell.
but surely.
So when's it going to go on the plane?
I have no idea.
While Tim might not exactly be sure when the engine will be mounted to the fuselage, it should be sometime soon. If you want to see that happen and keep up to date with the AirZoo's restoration projects, follow us on social media. Or better yet, come see us in person. You can plan your visit at airzoo.org.